Hi everyone, welcome to the lecture on the proposal and final project. This lecture is just a very brief overview of some guidelines on how to start writing your proposal in preparation for the final project for this semester. I'm not really thinking of this lecture as the final say on the proposal and final project, but rather just an introduction, and then we'll continue to work together on the project and the proposal through the discussion board. It's an optional assignment, but you can also post there, and then you can meet with me in a live chat as well. So please use this lecture just as the beginning guide, and then contact me with further questions. We're going to be devoting this week to final project planning. That includes brainstorming ideas and then eventually submitting a proposal at the end of this week. The final project guidelines were given in last week's folder, so please go ahead and begin reviewing those, and remember that your project has to do several things. First of all, it needs to relate directly to 19th century British literature and/or culture. It needs to use both creative and critical elements. You do need to incorporate at least 5 research sources. Even if your project ends up on the much more creative side, you are still going to be doing research and using that research through the creative project. And you also need to have a very clear purpose for your project and a potential audience. I wanted to explain why we're writing a proposal for the final project. The reason we're doing so is because it helps you organize your ideas and it helps you to make choices. It really begins the research process for the critical portion of the project as well, because you're going to start doing academic research and then listing those sources on your proposal. It also helps me to visualize what you're planning to do, and it gives me the opportunity to help you avoid problems before you begin creating your final project. So I really want us to be thinking through what the purpose of the proposal is, and then using that proposal this week to really focus your final project ideas. Now, if you've looked at the proposal assignment sheet, what you're going to see is that the proposal itself takes an outline form. So when you're writing the proposal, you're not writing an actual essay. You are going to fill out the proposal in outline form and turn that outline into me. Now, of course, the outline is going to be pretty detailed with all the examples that you're planning on using, but I do want to distinguish between an outline form within the proposal and a more traditional research paper outline. The outline for the proposal is not a one-to-one correspondence for the form of your final project. For example, if you end up writing a short story, obviously you're not going to write an outline for the proposal of every single thing that you're putting in the story, because I'm asking for different things, and you'll see that on the assignment sheet. Instead, you'll have your own way of writing your short story, and you may not even use an outline at all. I really want to emphasize that the proposal outline form is a way for you to organize information that you want to convey about your project. But your final project itself will likely be presented in a very different form. Even if you are writing a traditional research essay for your final project, you are still not going to be using the information from the proposal outline form as an outline for the project. These are two separate things, and I really want to emphasize that just because you're turning in an outline form for the proposal does not mean that that then becomes a basis for the final project. Now, the proposal itself walks you through the pieces that you will need to include in the final project. At the proposal stage, you will have done all the critical thinking and planning for the project, even though you have not created it yet. Now, since you've done all the planning before you write the proposal, it needs to be very clear and very detailed. You want to avoid answers that are vague or state things like, "I'll decide this later." This will lose you points on your proposal score. Now is the time to decide, as we are devoting a whole week to this process. So you need to begin that research this week too. I linked the KSU library in this week's folder, and you'll want to log in with your NetID and search for academic reputable sources. Try to avoid generic internet sources unless they are peer-reviewed. You need 2 sources for the proposal, and I encourage you to go ahead and find all 5 this week since we've devoted that time to research. After you turn in the proposal, I will respond with feedback. I expect to return proposals within a week, and in some cases I may ask you to rethink your plans, to change topics, to add or remove content. My goal is to help you complete the final project successfully, and this may require revision of your initial plans. If you're concerned about needing more immediate feedback so that you can begin the project, you can turn your proposal in early. I will grade them in the order that they're received. Once you get my comments, you can go ahead and start working on your project. You have approximately 1 month to complete it. Try to begin early so that you have time to make it excellent. You can start work on the proposal this week by beginning with brainstorming. Remember that ideas come from conversation. If you're feeling stuck or uninspired, you can talk to your peers through our discussion board, or you can talk to me. Conversation can lead you in new and interesting directions, so make time early this week to list out ideas and test them with an audience. This week, there's that open discussion to ask questions about the proposal, and we're also scheduling a live chat session. You can use this or consider making an individual video appointment chat with me as well. Just remember that the proposal is due to the Dropbox by no later than next Monday, so make sure that you have time to work on it, time to test out your ideas, and to do your research this week.